Hey collectors, welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I'm going to continue the nostalgia and share my collection of Pokemon cards, and that is from the second generation, specifically those that has e-reader compatibility. Before we go on, I would like to hear from you collectors. What cards from the e-card series are your favorites? So without further ado, let's get started. I started buying more booster packs and team decks since I was able to save more money in my secondary school days. And that explains on my bigger collection of cards from the next generation, compared to the first one. So this deck is my collection from the Generation 2 e-card series. When I first opened those cards, I was wondering, why was the design so different from that I had in the past? It had a thicker yellow border, and most of these cards have an additional box with greyish dots. Then I realized that these cards can be scanned using an e-reader connected to a Game Boy Advance for their Pokédex entries, as their entries were removed from the physical card. It was a pity that I didn't get to own an e-reader. Otherwise, I would have shown you all how it looks like. Now, let me showcase to you the cards I owned from the 3 expansions of the E-series. Firstly, let me show you the reverse holo cards. If I have not mistaken, this series of holographic cards were first introduced in the E-card series. I felt that it's kind of like a consolation prize if you get these cards compared to those holographic rare cards. And unfortunately, these reverse holo cards are kind of warped as I didn't put them into any protectors or binders. But nonetheless, they still look quite gorgeous. This series of cards are from the first of the e-reader series, known as the Expedition base set. As you look at the cards being flashed, you'll realize that the artwork is so much more complex to the previous generation. Here are some cards that I have to compare between the different generations. Look at how simple the Ghastly and Haunter are from the base set. It became more creative in this Expedition base set. Putting Haunter side by side together, you'll realize that the Haunter set from the Expedition base set has a more creative and colourful expression compared to the original base set. Within this expansion, I also appreciate the similarities in the art style for Pokemon of the same evolutionary line. I mean, it's likely since they are drawn by the same artist. I do love how they create some form of continuity within the same expansion for the collectors. Although, I must say, I don't really like the illustration of the coughing and wheezing here. It appears to be too intimidating. And now, we have some cards from the next expansion of the series, the Acropolis set. I must say that their artwork still remains unique, and I really respect the illustrators, as they must have had squeezed out a lot of their creative juices to illustrate these Pokemon. See it for yourself, the merit from different expansions. I find that each has their own uniqueness. The one from Neo Genesis is the most basic version, while the one from the Expedition base set depicts Marip in a wall painting. And the Acropolis one shows a cute Marip molded by plasticine. I think all these 3 illustrations are really good, though I prefer the one from the Expedition base set. The new expansion also introduced some new and special energy cards. I don't really play the Pokemon TCG then, so I'm not at all interested at how they can affect gameplay. All I knew was that these energy cards looked really cool, and I want to collect all of the available ones. And so, here I have a Warp Energy, as well as a Crystal Energy. And in my latest Skyreach set, I have a Retro Energy. You can see how delicate all of the artwork is. It's really pretty. Next up, we have cards from the last expansion of the E-Series, the Skyreach set. Again, the Pokemon are illustrated in a very different art style compared to the previous sets. And what I liked most in this set is I have a full set of the evolution from the Generation 1. It was somewhat a dream came true when I managed to get myself the team deck named Evolution that was released with the Skyreach set. I used to dream of myself owning all the evolutions, just like those dancers in Ecrutic City in the Gold and Silver version. It's a bit regretful that this team deck does not come with Espeon or Umbreon, which are two of my favourite evolutions up till now. And I also managed to dig up some relics from this team deck, although I do not have the box available now. And they are the card list and the advanced rulebook. So let us just take a look at the card list. It actually features the card list from the current set as well as past sets as well. I am actually surprised that my card list was relatively clean without any markings. I'm wondering, how did I even keep track of what cards I had collected in the past? Now, look at this advanced rulebook. It looks so ancient. I remember myself spending days to just reading and rereading the rulebook just for fun in the past. I guess everything can be found in the internet these days, and rulebooks like this would perhaps be obsolete. And now, it is the moment that I have been waiting for, which is to share with you all what are some of my favourite cards in these expansions. First up, we have Kingdra. I was quite fascinated with Kingdra in the past, as it was one of the strongest Pokemon available in the Gold, Silver and Crystal versions. And with its typing, it does not have any weakness against any types except for Dragon. I always find it amusing that some of the weaknesses depicted in the TCG doesn't make sense. In any ways, don't you find the artwork of this Kingdra amazing? Looks like Kingdra is diving down into some underwater ruins looking for treasures. Next. This Pokemon needs no further introduction. Everyone knows how strong it is. So I was sharing with you guys in the previous video that I had no idea where my base set Mewtwo went to. Thank goodness that I managed to keep this copy from the Expedition base set in this binder. Look at how commanding this Mewtwo looks. It's like controlling a storm, ready to do some huge damage. And last but not the least, Tyranitar. I had loved this Pokemon since its appearance from the Gold and Silver version. Look at how ferocious it is. I was still amazed by the Pokédex entry of Levita from Generation 2, which says that after it has eaten a huge mountain, it will fall asleep so it can grow. That really surprised the Gulliver me then. take a closer look at this card. And to be honest, I can't really tell if it's holographic, although under the camera and under the shining light, it does look holographic to me. And collectors, that's all for today. Hope you all had a wonderful trip down memory lane again. I really enjoyed myself while sharing all my thoughts about the e-card Pokemon TCG expansion today. Hope you all liked the content as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up, and if you are new here or has yet to subscribe, do subscribe for more content like this. See you next time. Bye bye.